63 doesn't get a good jump there, but Tony Cairoli does, so too does Christophe Pourcel. 3.77, he storms into the lead going into that first turn. And Pourcel, he's got one of the Kawasaki's, probably Xavier Borg just behind him in the 121, it looks like. Then we've got Philipparts, then the two Suzuki's of Tanel Leoc and Clement de Sal. So both those Suzuki's there. Cairoli, where's he? Is he in the mix there somewhere? I think he's got a pretty good start, but not too far up the front. In fact, where is he? 1, 2, 3. Didika's in there. Cairoli has already gone through, has he? Just trying to pick him up from this shot. Certainly it's Pourcel. And that's Xavier Borg there in second, the 121. Then de Sal third, Philipparts fourth. Then we've got Ken Didika, Tanel Leoc and Tony Cairoli all together, three abreast going through that sweeping right-hand turn. But 3.77, Christophe Pourcel, he'll want to rectify the mistake that he made in that first race. Obviously getting the rear wheel wrapped up in the green fencing somehow, somewhere along the way. We never quite caught it. We just saw him coasting into the work area, pit lane. And Xavier Borg looking interested in this one at the moment. Xavier Borg finishing 8th in Moto number 1. There's de Sal though, the yellow Suzuki. That's him in 3rd place, number 25. And David Philipparts in 4th. Ken Didika 5th. Cairoli 6th. Sorry, is that Cairoli 7th actually? Dean Ferris was Cairoli 6th. Dean Ferris was in there in 7th. And Cairoli already found a way past the number 4 of Tanel Leoc. So Cairoli doesn't want Christophe Pourcel to get too far away from him, or Clement de Sal, who's a couple of riders ahead of him, over the line for the first time. And it's Christophe Pourcel who leads the way. Just behind him, Xavier Borg there in 2nd position, Clement de Sal in 3rd. Number 25, that yellow Suzuki. 4th is Philipparts. Number 19 on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Then Ken Didika on the Rebel KTM alongside him. And does he go through? Tight camera angle there, but he gets to drive through that second part side by side as they head towards the tabletop. And Didika coming right the way across. David Philipparts there, middle part of that straight, just to secure that, 4th position. And Didika, chance here for an overall podium there, number 9. David Philipparts 5th, 10th in the first race, as we said earlier. And Cairoli there, number 222 in the fluorescent yellow helmet. He's down in 6th place on this opening lap. Just behind him, Tanel Leoc. Through the more my waves they go. Sal 3rd, 9 of Didika in 4th. The black there, number 19 of Philipparts 5th. Now he's got Cairoli breathing all down the back of him. A couple of corners from the end of this lap here. Sweeping through that right-hander. Cairoli, the second rider in shot, trying to keep a nice tight line. And as they go through, it's Pourcel from Xavier Borg, from Clement de Sal, David Philipparts, Tony Cairoli. And Cairoli getting a run on Philipparts, who knows his fellow Italian is there, tries to put the squeeze on him, and it almost worked. I thought the two were going to clash and go down, but they managed to stay up. Switches to the inside there, number 19, Philipparts. Cairoli's been quick through here all weekend, gets good drive through that first part, but again, Cairoli, wow, look at that, manages to keep it nice and tight. Didn't think he'd get through there, loses the drive though towards the end of that wave section. Philipparts should hold the key in that next left-hander over the Investrade bank. Yeah, he has actually. Cairoli's gone through. So Cairoli did find a way through past David Philipparts and now goes into 5th place. But as we are at the moment, our race leader is Christophe Pourcel. Then it's Xavier Borg in 2nd. 3rd, As Cairoli goes inside, Philipparts looks to run around the outside. He's not going to get the pass done through there though. Cairoli is now in 5th. Philipparts is 6th. Tano Leok is 7th, just coming in the shot there. Ferris is 8th on the Ice One Racing Kawasaki. Jonathan Barragan is 9th. Rugon Salvez is 10th. And Kevin Strybos on the HM Plank KTM 11th of the Silver Action KTM Guarneri 12th. Matis Caro ST Racing KTM, and then Sebastian Porcel. And we've got the first of it's Rodolfo Fernandez. So the Guatemalan well placed this time around, as our leaders disappear in the opposite direction there. Philipparts coming up over the hill now, dropping down through to the finish line area. It's Didika. He goes over the line. Still no position change for him. It's still Christophe Porcel who leads the way. Tony Cairoli looking to pull the same move on Didika at the end of the straight. Choice of different lines there. Cairoli getting buried in the sand as he went in a little bit wider than Ken Didika. These guys battling for 4th position. Philipparts not as clean through that wave section. But this is how it looks at the moment. Porcel, Xavier Bourg, Clement de Sal, Ken Didika, Tony Cairoli, David Philipparts. Cairoli jumping from one side of the track to the other. Not sure if he was going to run out of room there, but Philipparts in 6th. Tano Leok on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki is 7th. Then Dean Ferris is down in 8th place. Jonathan Barragan 9th. Rugon Salvez is 10th. 11th is Kevin Strybos. Guarneri is 12th. Sebastian Porcel is 13th. Matis Caro, Rodolfo Fernandez, Santu Tienen. Then we've got 156 Renier Mejia. He's down in 17th place, ahead of Rodriguez, Garcia, Vasquez, and Garcia. Philipparts looking for a new line. There was Porcel, just going out of shot. He's built up a nice comfortable buffer between him and Xavier Bourg. So the two French lead, the Belgian Clement de Sal, then Cairoli there in 4th place. Didika just coming over the line in 5th, and then Philipparts in 6th place. So Cairoli then, but his eyes now firmly fixed on Clement de Sal, as he looks to make a move. He's been pretty quick through here, as we said a couple of laps ago. He got alongside Philipparts, but he was quick here in the first race. Even when he was following de Sal was Tony Cairoli. Oh, nicely there, landing on the tabletop and then sort of hopping on, hopping off, clearing the braking bumps on the downside just to keep that momentum going. Nice line there from Cairoli just a moment ago. Oh, de Sal almost loses the front end. That opens the door for Cairoli. Cairoli tries to go through but doesn't get through in the end. The yellow flag goes out here. Rider just off around the corner somewhere, just there. But it's Xavier Bourg who's the one that's coming under pressure at the moment in that 2nd position. De Sal 3rd on the yellow Suzuki, disappearing out of sight. The number 377, Christophe Porcel on the 377, or to give it its proper title, CP377, Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Building up a pretty good advantage at the moment is Porcel. Cairoli there though, although he's past Ken Didika a lap ago. Didika not letting his teammate get too far away as he gets up on the pegs, rides the bumps in the way they were meant to in the sand, but 25.5 minutes to go. We've still got a ways to go. Cairoli battling for 3rd at the moment. Xavier Bourg, Clement de Sal, Tony Cairoli, there were your 3 riders in shot. They're battling over 2nd position with 25 minutes to go. This time Cairoli holds a tighter line, keeps Clement de Sal well and truly in his sights, goes to the inside, goes high and wide, tries to take the Suzuki rider but doesn't get through. No one's going to budge to Sal unless you go through him, of course. Oh, nicely done through there for Cairoli. Gets good distance all the way. Double. He's going to have the advantage here. Watch Cairoli's line here in a moment. Hops onto the tabletop, then hops over the top of that hole, just like Ken Dudaika. DeSalle has found a way into second at the end of that straight into that left-hander. So DeSalle then in second position as he goes after Christophe Pourcel. Xavier Bourg there in third place. Cairoli in fourth, getting a little bit loose through that turn. Then we've got Ken Dudaika just trying to force the issue in fifth place. But Xavier Bourg there in third place at the moment. I don't know how much of a challenge he will be for Cairoli. DeSalle already putting a little bit of distance between himself and the Frenchman. Xavier Bourg. Track in absolutely perfect condition now. Certainly physical and tough. We know that. Cairoli just burying it a little deep. Cairoli still would lead the win the Grand Prix here at the moment, even though he's in that fourth place in the race. But it'd be a win and a fourth for him. And he'd only win it by a point over Clément DeSalle. So DeSalle is going to try and go after Christophe Pourcel. Cairoli's going to try and go with him, but Xavier Bourg holding up the Italian at the moment. But also doing a good job of holding on to that third place as well. Cairoli gets good drive, gets out of the berm early. This is what we've seen before. Harder on the brakes, pushes down on the inside. Goes through on Xavier Bourg and goes into third place. So we've got Pourcel from DeSalle, from Cairoli there. Then the green Kawasaki, the 121, Xavier Bourg. Watch Cairoli through here. Double. Doesn't quite get it through there in the end, but regroups, seat bounces his way, mono, couple of big waves, and then double at the end. In the tabletop, as Xavier Bourg comes under threat from Ken Dudaika. Dudaika's going to go from one side of the track to the other here. You can't go too far. Oh, he managed to get the pass done. Surprised me there as well. Cairoli, you sense, just pushing a little bit too hard. He wants to go after Clément DeSalle. Just a little bit eager to get through that rutted corner. There's the 62, Martin Garcia, our Mexican champion, two-time champion. Goes out of the race, been there for a few laps actually. That's the first clear shot that we've had of the side panel. Cairoli goes to the inside, in that bright yellow helmet. He's got DeSalle in his sights. Dudaika just losing ground on Cairoli. So Pourcel already out of the frame. There's Clément DeSalle in second position on the yellow Suzuki. Cairoli getting held up there by a back marker in third. There's our race leader, already down by pit lane. Here's DeSalle, so he's got the whole of that straight, so more than about 100 metres or so in real time. Then you see the straight in the opposite direction. Here's our race leader, 377. Christophe Pourcel just goes through. DeSalle takes a back marker wide. Could have been dodgy for Cairoli because the guy could have tipped and could have fallen into the path. Look at that, Philippart's closing in on Ken Dudaika. And Tony Cairoli, so Philippart's really on the charge here. The black monster in his Yamaha, or is that Xavier Bourg just being overtaken? Philippart's was definitely in there, I'm sure of that. There's DeSalle, there's Cairoli. Dudaika, yeah, Philippart's and Bourg, so 2, 3, 4, fifth place for David Philippart's now, as he homes in on the number 9 of Ken Dudaika there on that black and white Monster Energy Yamaha. So a tight MX1 race here at the moment. Cairoli almost through the front door there as he came through that right-hander. That marker does his best to stay out of the way. The 59 there of Jose Luis Guzman. I think that was the right pronunciation, but there you go. DeSalle. Look at that. DeSalle, Cairoli, Dudaika. Battle for second. There is DeSalle in that second place. Porcel at the moment, around 6 point, well, let's call it 7 seconds clear up to Sal. Cairoli still third. De Dijker still fourth. Philipparts, we know, is fifth, having passed Xavier Borg just a moment ago. Cairoli homing in on once again on the rear wheel of the yellow 25, the Rockstar Energy Racing Suzuki MX1 rider, Clement de Sal. Sal doubles his way through there, but he wasn't quick through here in the first race. Cairoli really hanging off the back. Getting good drive. Switching from one side of the track to the other. There's De Dijker in the background as well. Number 9. Then Philipparts. So Philipparts hasn't closed in. Well, was there thought there was a pass there, but not quite. Cairoli not able to put the squeeze on Clement de Sal. Everyone going around that rut on the face of that jump. And the Suzuki rider, Clement de Sal. De Sal doing what he did in the moto, the first moto. Just holding all the aces, controlling all the lines, making the guys go around him or through him. Look how gnarly that straight was there. Cairoli looking like he's regrouping again. He's just sat back this lap. Interesting line there for him though. Oh, gets caught up on a hole as he went through the inside. Might have lost a bike length or two to Clement de Sal on that Suzuki just here. There's your lap times, 54.9, 54.6, 51 lap 5. So look at the difference in times there. .907 though, fastest lap of the race for Clement de Sal a couple of laps ago. Cairoli goes to the inside, pulls back a couple more bike lengths on Clement de Sal. Oh, Cairoli goes down. Cairoli got on the gas and he just lost the front and the rear wheel coming out of the turn. Turn 4, gets himself going again, but he's just there ahead of Xavier Borg. So Xavier Borg is down in 6th place at the moment. Or in 5th place, I should say. So there's De Sal in 2nd. Ken De Dijker will now be 3rd. So Christophe Pourcel, our race leader at the moment. 2nd is the 22 of Clement de Sal. 3rd was Cairoli, but that's now going to be Ken De Dijker in 3rd. 4th, David Philipparts. Then it was Xavier Borg. So Cairoli, that might be a costly mistake for him in terms of the Grand Prix, because that could have handed the overall victory if De Sal even stays where he is and doesn't win the race. He may even win his first Grand Prix victory here at the Grand Prix of Mexico. Still, what, 16 and a half minutes to go. Cairoli still more than capable of coming through and rectifying that mistake, but it's going to be a hard-earned Grand Prix victory for Cairoli if that's the case. But when they come through this time, we know Pourcel is our leader. De Sal is 2nd. Cairoli isn't 3rd. De Dijker is now. Philipparts is 4th. Xavier Borg is now in 5th. Cairoli was alongside him as he got going. So Cairoli may be 5th or 6th at the moment. We'll let you know when he comes over the line. But our race leader, Christophe Pourcel, comfortable there. There's the battle in the opposite direction with Philipparts and the rest of the guys. Pourcel nicely slamming in and doubling over. I think, you know, Clement de Sal might just be closing in on Christophe Pourcel. Here we go, Ken De Dijker in 3rd place, number 9. Philipparts in 4th. Cairoli back on the pace instantly in 5th there. In 5th place, in 6th place, it's Xavier Borg. 7th is Tanel Leot. 8th is Rui Gonçalves. 9th is Dean Ferris on the Ice One Racing Kawasaki. And in 10th place we've got Jonathan Barragan. 11th is now Kevin Strybos on the HM Plant KTM. Then we've got in 12th place Davide Guarneri. And 13th we've got Mattis Caro on the STR KTM. There's Cairoli, goes up the inside of Ken Dodika. Dodika, just a big barn door there for the Italian to go through. And Cairoli now got his eyes set on a little bit off-piste excursion there for Cairoli. But Philipparts is the next man on his sights. So as it is at the moment, or as it was last time around, again, the backhand just getting a bit loose there for Cairoli. DeSalle had a 3-point advantage over Cairoli in terms of the overall. Since then, Cairoli's gone past Xavier Borg and the number 9 of Ken Dodika. Only needs to get back onto the rear wheel of Clement DeSalle, and he's back in pole position again in terms of winning the overall Grand Prix. Takes a sneaky look over the hillside to see where the next rider is after Philipparts, where DeSalle is potentially. You might even see him just going through in the opposite direction. No, Philipparts, DeSalle already through there. There's Philipparts. So David Philipparts in 3rd place in this race at the moment. Ken Dodika just a little bit off balance coming out of that right-hand turn. Look at Cairoli, nice through there, and Dodika doubling in. Really have to attack that Mexican wave section. But Cairoli, I like it when he's like this, when he's really putting the hammer down, really lets it all hang out. David Philipparts, he deserves a podium though at the same time. Monster Energy Yamaha rider, he's had a tough weekend so far. They left the car for 5 minutes. And him and Charlier had a lot of personal belongings stolen, credit cards, wallets, driver's license, passports, that kind of stuff. So he's got to work out a way to get to Brazil from Mexico. Got to find out how to get out of the country first, as David Philipparts, but I'm sure he'll be able to find his way to an embassy somewhere and get the relevant paperwork faxed through or whatever. But David Philipparts hanging on to 3rd place at the moment. A couple of back markers though might hold him up here unless he can split them. One of those is Rodolfo Fernandez on the left-hand side there in the red. But with 12 minutes plus 2 laps to go, at the moment it's still Christophe Pourcel who leads. Clement DeSalle is 2nd. David Philipparts here, number 19, is 3rd on the Monster Energy Yamaha. The Rebel KTM of Tony Cairoli is there in 4th place, number 222, and he's closed right in since making that mistake 2 or 3 laps ago. So Cairoli going after the Grand Prix victory here, trying to pick up as many points as possible. That's DeSalle disappearing in the opposite direction. So all eyes then on that battle for 3rd place between Cairoli and Philipparts. Philipparts there at the moment. We're looking at Santu Tiainen on the I-Swan Racing Kawasaki there in 15th place. But just behind him here, or just ahead of him further up the track, DeSalle, Cairoli, Philipparts, Dodika all battling for that 2nd place spot on the podium. There's Rui Gonçalves. Rui Gonçalves going through in 8th place. There is Rui Gonçalves, the Portuguese rider, the Honda Brazil, the Honda World Motocross MX1 rider. Having a good ride down there in 8th at the moment, but not riding 100% either. He's got his own problems going on in terms of niggling injuries and that kind of thing. But here's Pourcel and here's DeSalle. So DeSalle was closing in on a potential race win here. And this battle really starting to heat up now. because Dessau is closer than he has been all race long, and he's challenging Christophe Pourcel for the race win. Dessau, the only rider in terms of the top guys in this MX1 championship not to have a race victory under his belt in 2012. Cairoli has 3 wins. There's Dessau just going out of shot. Paulin has a win. Also, Pourcel has a couple of wins. Dessau, though, has a couple of seconds, couple of thirds. And he's going around the outside of Christophe Pourcel. 2 different lines there. Dessau not bothered about that. This is first and second. The 377 on the green Kawasaki. And the 25, the yellow Suzuki there of Clement Dessau. Oh! Hang it out, Clement Dessau. Goes up the inside. Pourcel not making him have it easy. And he goes through. Pulls the tail off, nice and cool. And Clement Dessau is our new race leader on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 machine. Christophe Pourcel. Will he try to hang with the Belgian and try to force him into making a mistake? He's certainly been caught and passed, so Dessau clearly the faster rider out of the 2. 8.5 minutes plus 2 to go. There's Philipparts as well, so Philipparts now looking at joining the party. He's close right in on the 2 guys here, the 2 leaders, Dessau and Pourcel. And that's brought Cairoli through, so this overall Grand Prix yet still to be decided. But at the moment, Clement Dessau, our race leader, ahead of the 377, Christophe Pourcel, who we have on screen right now. And you'll see the black and white Monster Energy Yamaha just clipping the gauntlet. There we go. That's Philipparts, that's Cairoli. So this race starting to build into a bit of a crescendo. Get a bit of a grandstand finish with 8 minutes to go. But it's any which way at the moment. Dessau is your race leader. Well, for those of you still tuning in on MX Live, no commercials for you guys. Clement Dessau, Christophe Pourcel, David Philipparts, Tony Cairoli. They're your 4 riders. They are the 4 riders going for the checkered flag and the race win here in his second MX1 race here. The final moto of the afternoon at Guadalajara. A mistake there for Christophe Pourcel. Goes wide, not looking comfortable in the second half of this moto. With these changing conditions, big leap there for David Philipparts into the unknown. That could have gone horribly wrong, could have landed right in the middle of a swamp, but look at that, he kept the momentum, he's gone through on Pourcel, and David Philipparts goes through in the second place. Pourcel now, looking like he's in trouble. Cairoli looking like he wants to get into third place. Philipparts there, 19, that's our second rider. The rider over the hill. Number 25 disappearing out of shot. That's our race leader. So we've got 4 riders here. Final 6.5 minutes plus 2 laps. And what's that? What's Pourcel doing? Banging the handlebar or just doing something like that? I'm not sure, but certainly not looking his normal, comfortable self in the second half of this race here, Christophe Pourcel. Over the line we go. How does that change the overall classification? Dessau will certainly be on a second and a first. Six minutes plus 2 laps remain here. The final race of the afternoon for the MX1 riders in this 4th round of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship. Clement Dessau leads. David Philipparts is second. The 377 there. Christophe Pourcel coming under attack now from the 222. Tony Cairoli. That's those 2 riders in shot. They're battling over third place. Cairoli, though, still in a battle for the overall Grand Prix victory. At the moment, Clement Dessau a second and a first. Cairoli will be looking at a win and a 4th. And that's going to be a difference of 4 points. So Cairoli has to pass both Christophe Pourcel and David Philipparts if he's to have any chance of winning this overall Grand Prix here in Guadalajara. Been a tough weekend for these guys. High temperatures, high altitude, and at times some high winds as well, really making the circuit a little bit tougher than normal, but Kai Rowley, he made a mistake all on his own coming out of turn 4 when he was sat in 3rd position behind Clement de Salt, and he lost 3 positions as a result of that. He's fought hard to get back onto the rear wheels of the fading Christophe Pourcel, who was the race leader at that time, and as he pushed on, he also took with him Clement de Salt and David Philipparts, and it's those guys now who lead the way. De Salt only, though, by the narrowest of margins over David Philipparts. That's the first and second. Philipparts going for his first race win. So too is Clement de Salt. Kai Rowley's lost ground there, and those 3 or 4 corners as the blue flag's being waved there for the back markers to move out of the way. Suddenly Clement de Salt, who was thinking about going after his first race win and doing it in fine style, didn't count on the hard-charging Italian David Philipparts on the Monster Energy Yamaha there, 19, who goes at the inside, and look at that, goes straight past the Belgian, doesn't even look back or anything. And he is our new race leader, David Philipparts. He crashed here on the opening lap in Moto number 1 with Sean Simpson. And now he's gone after the lead with 4 minutes to go, plus 2 laps. Gets on and off the tabletop. There's Pourcel in 3rd position. Kai Rowley, didn't see him too high up in that shot. There he is coming into view, as he know. So Kai Rowley, not saying he's hit the wall, but lost some ground there, certainly, on these 3 guys. And I'm not even sure, actually, if Pourcel is even trying to regroup at the moment, because he can now see a possible victory here. Remember, he's been caught and passed by 2 riders. In the last couple of laps, he had about a 7-second advantage over everybody else, and clearly thought that he was going to be a shoo-in for the race win. De Salt, hard on the brakes at the inside of David Philipparts. Philipparts tries to square it off. A nice line there for Philipparts. He goes through and makes Clement de Salt go the long way round, who makes a mistake coming out of the turn, loses ground himself on that yellow Suzuki, and loses that 2nd position, drops back into that 2nd position, as Philipparts tries to take control at the head of the field here. Oh, look at that, De Salt doubles his way through the step up, and then Philipparts squares up. He comes down the inside. He's got the cards down this inside. These 2 are going at it, and if they're not careful, Pourcel is just going to take the both of them and take Kai Rowley with him as well. And these 2 could be squabbling over 3rd place if they're not careful. So David Philipparts then, 2.5 minutes plus 2 to go. Looks to have steadied his ship at the moment, as De Salt now losing ground in those couple of corners. Pourcel all over the back of the Suzuki rider. Clement de Salt there just losing his foot peg as he went past pit lane. Kai Rowley, he's back in the frame. So what a grandstand finish we've got here, and some great racing on this track. After all the problems we had yesterday, this track really is starting to produce some fine racing. And it really is a survival of the fittest out there in more ways than one. Conditions, your own personal strength, mentally, physically, the temperatures, the altitude, the circuit as well. That's the biggest challenge. The holes and the bumps, the ruts, the lines and the corners, just a physically demanding circuit. And at the moment, the man in control, David Philipparts, who came from absolutely nowhere, from 7th position on the opening lap, to lead with about 3 minutes to go, just a moment ago. But we've seen these 2 battle before. Neither one of these 2 riders will back off, and that would put, as the caption says, David Philipparts 3rd overall on the Grand Prix, tied with Ken Didika. He has to stay there, though, in 1st place, if that's to happen. And after picking himself up off the floor in Moto number 1, and coming back to 10th at the close, David Philipparts, wow, what a performance from him. Another rider who's yet to win a race this year. Kai Rowley, not sure what his plan is at the moment, but we're going to have 3 laps to go. Of that I'm certain, because we've still got 40-odd seconds on the clock. We're about 15 seconds from the finish line area. De Salt looking interested all over again. It's going to be 3 laps to go as they come over the Monster Energy finish line jump. David Philipparts at the moment needs these points to get his own championship back on track. Down in 9th place at the moment. 7th and a 15th at the opening round. Hasn't been any higher than 5th in a moto. That was just a couple of weeks ago. Cairoli struggling to get back onto the rear wheel of 377. Christophe Pourcel. Or is he? He's back again. It's Tony Cairoli. One thing's for sure, Christophe Pourcel cannot relax one bit, nor too can de Salle, but de Salle also going after David Philipparts, who's opened up a bit of a gap, around about a second or so, over Clément de Salle at the moment. Like a bit of a mistake there from Pourcel, just runs a little bit too wide, almost allows Cairoli to sneak back up the inside. And Cairoli, well, if he goes by Christophe Pourcel, Cairoli is going to win the Grand Prix. He goes through. So Cairoli then, who's currently on 43 points, has just taken another 2 from Christophe Pourcel. He's going to win the overall Grand Prix by a single point if it stays like this, with Philipparts leading the race, de Salle second, Cairoli third. Like I said, either way, any one of these guys is going to be a hard-earned Grand Prix victory. It's hard-earned third overall for David Philipparts. But de Salle, everything lies with him now. With 2 laps to go, right now, the board going out on the left. David Philipparts needs to win this race to be third overall in the Grand Prix. Otherwise, that goes to Ken de Dijker. Clément de Salle there in second place needs to win the race to win the overall Grand Prix, because Tony Cairoli currently has the advantage at the moment. 45 points to 44. In what is has been actually building up the last 10 minutes of this race into the situation where we're at now. David Philipparts nicely through there, onto there. That's the way to do it, son. Oh, the back end gets a little bit loose on him, though. He's going to lose drive. Cairoli in third position. He's got a clear track ahead of him. He's going to want to do all he can to close back on the rear wheel of Clément de Salle. He might just do it as well. What they're not showing on that caption is Philipparts 36. Ken de Dijker also on 36 points. And de Salle, wow, look at that. That did cost Philipparts a little bit of time. That squirrely rear wheel through that wave section just a moment ago. And Philipparts, if he wins this, there'll be one hell of a celebration as he comes over the line. He'll be the happiest man out here. Back marker just ahead. Does well, moves out of the way. 59, that was Jose Luis Guzman. Oh, de Salle goes wide. Cairoli, where's Cairoli? He wasn't there to pick up the pieces, but he's right there now to challenge Clément de Salle with just over a lap to go. That could have been de Salle's moment. That could have cost him the overall Grand Prix. He was right on the rear wheel of David Philipparts, and he's just looking a little bit rattled. He's got to keep a nice tight line here as Clément de Salle, prevent Cairoli going through. So everything to play for now for Clément de Salle. He has to get back on the pace. He's got to go back after David Philipparts, who's already over the line. He's already started his final lap. But Cairoli, we've seen how fast he is down past pit lane. He gets out of the corner early here. He goes down the right-hand side. It's a lot smoother. De Salle will be too aware of that, though. But what will Cairoli do here? He goes to the middle. No, he goes inside. He forces the manoeuvre. Doesn't quite get through. But look at that. Philipparts, he looks like he's away with this one. Cairoli's been fast through the wave section all weekend long. Is he going to find a way through here? If not here, maybe at the end of the straight. Philipparts, well, that was a let-off for him in terms of, well, he won't mind about that, that's for sure. A mistake is a mistake. If that gives him a couple seconds breathing space on the final lap, he'll take it any which way. But it's not over yet. We've seen how tough this circuit is and how easily mistakes can be made. But suddenly, de Salle looks like he's regrouped. Cairoli gets on the gas. The rear end comes around on him, and he loses ground. So it's all over for Cairoli. He's got to hope now that de Salle doesn't go after David Philipparts, doesn't go for the win. There's de Salle. He's close right back up on David Philipparts. Wow, this is turning out to be a right humdinger of a race in the closing stage of the second MX1 race. I think Philipparts is going to hang on, though. But Clément de Salle is going to be kicking himself. Sal, he needs this victory for the overall. Philipparts needs it for third overall. He needs it. Both of them need a race win. With 4 rounds in, neither of the Yamaha or the Suzuki rider have took a moto win so far in 2012. One more corner to go. David Philipparts, he rounds out the final turn, gets on the gas, he runs down to the finish line, hits the Monster Energy finish line jump, he pulls a whip, he celebrates. Philipparts wins the race, but Clement de Sal will be disappointed with second place. He hasn't won the overall Grand Prix. Tony Cairoli wins it by a point. What a race that was. And Clement de Sal. Well, here's Cairoli.
Guys, you finally are the GP winners. Congratulations.
Yeah, I tried my best, you know. Was very tired, but I'm happy with the victory, and thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
Very tired, Tony Cairoli, but happy with the victory. But it was a hard-fought victory, as we said a moment ago, as it would be for any of those guys. They were pushing a good pace in the closing stages of that race. And, wow, Cairoli wins it after he picks himself back up off the deck. What a performance for him. What a great ride for David Philipparts as well. Takes his first race win of the year for the Monster Energy Yamaha team. Suddenly his trip doesn't look so bad after all, but of course, he's going to be more than pleased. A win and a third overall on the podium. So Cairoli then, he wins the overall Grand Prix. Does it by getting third overall in the race, but David Philipparts, though, the winner in Moto number 2. So there's the unofficial results at the moment, but no doubt about it, the winner. Great performance as well, David Philipparts. David Philipparts from Clement de Sal, Tony Cairoli, Christophe Pourcel, Kenneth Dijker. Then it was the number 4 of Tanel Leoc, the 121, Xavier Bourg, Rui Gonçalves was 8th and 7th. 9th was the number 7 of Jonathan Barragan, 10th with the 22 of Kevin Strybos. David Graneri picked up 10 points for 11th. And it was 9 points, well actually 2 12th place finishes for Dean Ferris. So he and Kari Tienen, the team manager for Ice One Racing, will be more than pleased with that. Matis Caro also 8th for him in the second race here. So that's 18 points overall for the Grand Prix for him, another 12th, but there we go. Official confirmation. Philipparts to Sal, Cairoli, Christophe Pourcel, Kenneth Dijker, Tanel Leoc, Xavier Bourg and Rui Gonçalves. Jonathan Barragan, Kevin Strybos, Grunieri, Ferris Caro. Then it was Sebastian Pourcel and the 67 of Kari Tienen. And Mejia Rodriguez, only 17th for him. And Guzman down there as well. So there's some Mexicans got some points this weekend. Overall Grand Prix, Tony Cairoli wins here, the Mexican Grand Prix. 45, de Sal 44, Philipparts, that last race win gets him third, edging out to Dijker fourth. Then it was Leoc, Bourg, Strybos and Barragan. Dean Ferris 11th overall, but Gauthier Paulin didn't. Paulin, no points in that, in all the drama. Gauthier Paulin, no points for him in that second race. So picking up 18 points for fourth in Moto number 1. So championship is still going to be Cairoli, I think. 178 now for Cairoli, 149 to Sal. Borland drops to third. 134 into Dyker. 131. So an expensive weekend then for Gauthier Borland. Loses ground on number 25, Commander Sal. Falls into the clutches almost of Kenda Dyker. So not sure what that situation was there, but anyway, we look forward to the podium in just a moment. Nathan Parker picked up a couple of points. That would have been moto number 1. Not here, of course, but Nathan Parker picking his 2 points up in the second moto in Bulgaria, number 19. Manufacturer standings look like this. KTM, I think, are still on top of the pile. Yes, they are. 178. Kawasaki second, Suzuki third, Yamaha fourth, Honda fifth, and TM down in 6th place. Not here this weekend, TM. So as you can see, the Monster Energy girls down there, all ready and waiting. As we get ready for our third overall rider. See the bikes lined up there, the 25 to the left, that's to Sal, he was second overall, the bike in the middle with the 222, Cairoli, and the bike to the right, the 19 of David Philipparts, the Monster Energy Yamaha. David Philipparts takes third overall this weekend at the Mexican Grand Prix with a hard-fought win in Moto number 2. Came from nowhere. He was 10th after the first race, which is where he finished. And he just picked off everybody to get there. Commander Sal taking a steady walk up. He's going to be disappointed with that second. He knows the mistake with a lap to go has cost him the Grand Prix potentially. But Tony Cairoli, the Red Bull KTM factory rider, congratulates David Philipparts for a win. There's our little hover cam doing the rounds. But Cairoli takes another Grand Prix victory here. And Cairoli will still lead the championship. Claudio Ducali, team manager for KTM MX1. So Cairoli, top step of the podium once again. But David Philipparts, Nico España, the promoter here from Mexico, hands him a third place trophy. First time on the podium for David Philipparts, as well as that first race win of the year. Sebastian Tortelli, the co-promoter here, hands a second place trophy to Commander Sal. Tony Cairoli will get his winner's trophy from Nico España, the co-promoter here, or the promoter of the race. And eventually it all came good for him and Sebastian Tortelli. Been a hard weekend though for him, been a hard few weeks as well in getting this race put on. But that's your first three. Claudio Ducali. Claudio Ducali there on the right gets the winner's trophy for KTM from Sebastian Tortelli. Obviously, congratulations to all the riders as well. And the red plate being delivered to Tony Cairoli by the FIM representative, Tony Skillington from Southern Ireland. Cairoli still leads the championship. And as he's won the Grand Prix here this weekend, normally, as didn't happen with the MX2, we should get the national anthem of Italia. Tony Cairoli wins the Mexican Grand Prix. That was the national anthem for Italy. Austria, though, winning manufacturer. Once again, here is the Austrian national anthem. Clement de Sal caught off guard there. Normally the national anthem gets cut short, but Tony Cairoli, David Philipparts wasted no time in getting the bottles opened and sprayed. But Cairoli wins the Grand Prix here in Mexico. David Philipparts wins the race, his third overall this weekend behind Clement de Sal. As they make their way off the podium, we will wait to hear them. But here's, is it a highlight? Not sure. Slow-mo of the start. Yeah, we'll worry about that when we get there. But there was Pourcel. He rode a good race. He stayed out for a while. He made a good start there, the 377. Christophe Pourcel. Cairoli was there with him in second. David Philipparts snuck through on the inside in third. And eventually was second, actually, going down through the first turn, but lost a lot of ground on the opening lap, did David Philipparts, because he went from third to about 6th or 7th position in not too long a time at all. But as the race wore on, it became clear that the four riders at the head of the field, Christophe Pourcel, Clement de Sal, Tony Cairoli, and David Philipparts would make a meal of it, or make a proper race of it. Cairoli, he caught de Sal and went into third place, as Pourcel had a 7 or 8 second advantage at the head of the field at that time. And Pourcel got caught and passed by the 25, Clement de Sal. That was the battle for the lead, then a change of lead as well. Cool pick of the tear-off. And de Sal then just took a look over his shoulder, realised that Pourcel was no match. And Philipparts came steaming in from nowhere and got back into second position. Cairoli had already made a mistake at that point and had already fought to come through. And this was the pass for the lead between Philipparts and de Sal. Philipparts then our new race leader. For about 2 laps, the two went side by side, bar to bar, with a lot of that going on over the next few corners. But in the end, he was able to break free, was David Philipparts, and he left Clement de Sal, who'd made a mistake on the final lap, to fall back into the clutches of Christophe Pourcel and Tony Cairoli. And that mistake there with a lap to go was what possibly cost de Sal the overall victory. In the end, it went, or the race win, went to David Philipparts. His first race win of the year. Cairoli,
Antonio Cairoli, what a Grand Prix. That second race was tough, but you managed to get back at to the top positions, and finally you were at the top of the podium.
Yeah, you know, I had not so good start. I was 5th or 6th, and I climbed the standings. I was 3rd. I was riding really well, and I was looking forward for a win, another moto. Then I made a small mistake, and I crashed in the corner, and I lose again 3 position. I was back to 6. I pushed really hard, and we actually closed the gap together with David, because he also came from the back, and I have to say that he was riding really, really good, and I'm really happy for him that he come back so strong in this race. And yeah, and then in the end I tried to make some good laps, but the track was really, really rough, and I tried to come on the Sal in the last 2 laps and tried to pass him, but yeah, it was a little bit risky. I wanna take the win from this GP, and so the 3rd place was good for me. I'm happy, looking forward for the next GP.
Congratulations.
Hard weekend, a hard effort, but well worth it for Tony Cairoli, as he picked himself up off the floor after challenging with Clement de Sal. Made a couple of mistakes during the race as well, but the important thing is he rode a champion's race, got back to 3rd in the race. That was enough to win the Grand Prix.
Clement de Sal, very hot, but you're still second. Are you satisfied? What do you think?
I'm satisfied about no crash, and my riding was okay, but it was really hard in second moto. And yeah, I was first, and then it was really difficult, and David passed me. It was good riding. He was stronger than me in second moto, but otherwise I'm not satisfied about the situation here, and about it I have no comment.
Okay, well done.
So disappointed from Sal then. So not happy with the overall weekend, but certainly not happy that, I guess he didn't win the race, but fair play. He acknowledged the fact that David Philipparts just came out of nowhere and passed him to take the win, came out of nowhere and was riding better than him, was stronger than him, and that was that. But a lost opportunity there for Commander Sal, you feel? That one mistake just towards the end of the race.
David, what a pleasure having you here again. Congratulations for this third position.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Friday and yesterday I'm bad luck. Today I'm very happy. I finished third. I win one moto. The first moto a big crash, but I know it's possible win. And the second moto I push very hard every lap, and I'm happy to win because the last race I'm very bad, but I'm happy. Thank you to every my sponsor, AGV Tor, Alpina Star Riete, Yamaha Monster, and thank you to Bar Stop and Go. Ciao.
Thank you, David.
Third overall, David Philipparts, a fantastic come from nowhere race win in that second moto. And the Monster Energy Yamaha takes his first race win of the season, 25 points. And wow, I wonder if that will kickstart his championship campaign now. He's won in Brazil in the past, and we're going there, of course, in a week's time. But anyway, that's pretty much all we've got time for here from from Mexico, sorry. My name's Paul Malin. It's been a long weekend. It's been a hot weekend. We are back down to normal climbs next week in Brazil at a brand new circuit built in and around a theme park. So can't wait to see what goes on down there. But Sebastian Tortelli and Nico Espana, in the end, coming through. There's been some fantastic